Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our leadership training videos. Now I hope that by now you know that in these leadership training videos what I do is I share through my own experience and my own eyes what I've seen in terms of leadership through my career and my life. So I'll touch on a few areas, take you through a few minutes of just top line of the understanding of some of the aspects that can help you to become a more effective leader, to become a more polished leader. Maybe you want to simply understand what leadership is all about. Maybe one day you aspire to be a leader. Maybe you are already a leader and you just want to know what are the key things that might help in terms of traits, experience, effectiveness to become a much better leader for the future. So wherever you are in your journey, whether you are a leader, a follower, a leader of the future, an entrepreneur, small business owner, or even in your own family life or your own personal life, I want these to really give you some insights as to how you can improve in that step-by-step process. So my name is Chris Igwe. I have over 35 years experience leading, training and developing teams across primarily 5 major markets in Europe, Middle East and Africa, where I have worked, and of course throughout the globe in terms of other responsibilities and relationships that I have had in my corporate environment. So the topic we're going to talk about today is one which I think we often forget. We often forget because we don't always see it in terms of its value. So before I go into it, please feel free to share, like, comment. Always love to hear from you. Any thoughts and ideas, feedback, support that you need, I'm always here to help. So today, here's the topic that we're going to talk about. It's celebrating small wins. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you can replace small with big if you like, or just wins. Often we're focusing on the big steps that we want to make. But I want to suggest to you that whatever it is that you're doing and wherever you are, think about the small wins. There's somebody who I'm mentoring. I've been mentoring various other people. And one thing that I've taught her to understand is the little things need to be celebrated for reasons which I'll explain in a minute. So it's not just the big things. It's not just what you see as, oh, I want to make this happen or achieve this or earn that amount or my business to do this volume. You will get there. That is part of your leadership journey. But here are just a few very simple examples. Maybe you've just started your business. Maybe you've just joined a company. Maybe you have just acquired a company or a business. And you say to yourself, 1 year on, I haven't really achieved what I wanted to achieve. I haven't done what I wanted. I'd set myself this and I'm here or somewhere else. Or it could simply be 7 days on. Maybe you've started something, a process. Maybe you've been preparing a report, a study, a market study, an assessment. Whatever it happens to be, 7 days on and you say to yourself, I've not finished it. I'm not as far as I wanted. I haven't got the results I expected. Or it could simply be you've brought in a new contract or new business, but that could be maybe a very small business. Maybe you were expecting, let's say, 100 and you've only got 5. You're thinking to yourself, I've missed the 95%. I expected to get 100 and I'm at 5. That's not acceptable. So you kind of beat yourself up about a new contract, a new business, a new assignment, which maybe is much smaller than you actually expected or anticipated. It could be a new hire. You've brought somebody into the business, but maybe it's not that senior individual, that senior role that you wanted for someone. Instead, you've hired another person who is good, maybe not what you ultimately wanted right away, but you're building a team, you're building a company, building a business. So maybe that hire is just a small step in the process that you want. So you may look at all of these and you say, yeah, I'm not where I want to be. So I'll just share a little example with you. I mean, for example, when I started these videos, these leadership training videos, I'll be very honest with you. The beginning, we've been going for just over a year now. And in the beginning, it was hard work. It was really, I had to dig deep. I had to make time. I had to put the time aside, define the context of what I wanted to talk about, put it together in my mind. But each week, providing you with a regular supply, a regular series of leadership training videos was not the easiest thing at the beginning. Now, it's part of my journey. I get comments which I really appreciate about how I'm supporting people in their journey. They're asking questions, I'm giving them feedback. whether on the YouTube channel or off it, because some people don't like to be visual or visible. Whatever it happens to be, it's just I took that step to make it happen, and it wasn't easy. A second example very quickly is I started less than a year ago now doing a podcast series. I decided that in my industry, which I'm specialized in, I wanted to make sure that we talked the industry up. I didn't just do any podcast. I positioned the podcast as at CEO level. So all those who I interview are founders, CEOs, C-suite generally, maybe finance director, executive director. They're not the easiest position to acquire, and in some cases they don't want to talk. They might be quoted on the stock exchange. They might be concerned about what they're going to say. I use the podcast as an example because today there are things like, whether it's creating your own YouTube channel or creating your own podcast or doing your own TikTok or Instagram, whatever it happens to be, you may think, oh, it's fantastic to do, but there's a lot of work. When I started those podcasts, it took me an incredible amount of time. I haven't delegated it to anybody. Nobody else does it for me. I do it 100% myself. At my senior level as well, I have decided that I wanted to understand all the mechanics of how it goes together. And it took a while, but I've done it. Was it frustrating? Yes. Did I want to give it up? Not really, but I thought to myself, maybe I should delegate it and give it to somebody else. So what I'm telling you is this is not stuff that hasn't happened to me. It's part of my own journey, and I wanted to be part of yours as well, where basically you learn that each step is a moment that you use to win the journey of where you're going. So celebrate the small wins because they really matter. And here's why. First of all, especially when you're alone at the top, I've mentioned this in a few leadership training videos, you will be your own cheerleader. There's nobody who's going to be out there necessarily, maybe your spouse, your partner, a couple of friends who are really cheering you on and making sure that you want to get to where you want to. So you're going to be your own cheerleader. So those small wins, you can go away and feel, that was great, that was fantastic. Self-congratulations, congratulate yourself. Again, in the example of this lady I'm mentoring, she eventually understood the need to congratulate herself for what she had achieved. Not just me as the coach or the mentor. It's about her saying, I have achieved something, I acknowledge it, and I internalize it. So it encourages you, but it also perhaps encourages your team. If you have a team, a company, a department, you are encouraging them as well by just acknowledging these little wins, but which are important to state. You show yourself self-love, which is really important for all of us. We all need love, we all crave love, we all want to be appreciated. Appreciate yourself. Appreciate yourself. If you can't do it, who else is going to do it? Love yourself. And it motivates not only you, because you see that step by step, because eventually, just like with these training videos or with my podcast, I can see how far I've come. I'm into season 2 of the podcasts, which means that I've got a lot of senior executives around the globe, because it's the global voice of retail. That's the positioning that I had. Not an easy one, but the one that I chose. So you look back and you go, I've done pretty well. So acknowledge yourself exactly where you are going, but also because at the end of the day, and this is the thought I want to leave you with, they are all part of the building blocks for success. You see, just like any building, like a cathedral isn't built by just throwing bricks together, is it? So whatever it is that you're building for yourself, whatever your future is that you want it to be and how successful and magnanimous you want it to be, it starts with one stone at a time, one building block at a time, one step at a time. The famous saying is, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. So it could be horizontal, it could be vertical, it doesn't matter. There's the first step. Acknowledge it, appreciate it, thank yourself, and celebrate it in a certain way. Whatever you want to do, celebrate it in a way which you acknowledge yourself, because that then motivates you even more and you're going to be even more successful. So I hope this has left you with some thoughts and ideas. If it has, please feel free to share, like, comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel and come back and join us for another leadership training video in the very near future. In the meantime, thank you.